Hey, what is going on, you guys? I hope you're having an amazing day today. A little disclaimer before I start this video. I've always said if money's not an issue for you, drive what you want as long as you can pay to have it fixed. So I just wanted to start by saying that. But without further ado, this is 3 reasons why you should never buy a brand new car from a dealership. Bit of a backstory here. I worked at a dealership for about 2 years. I met some really great people there, some amazing friends, and I learned a lot about the industry. I've driven everything from muscle cars to imports to exotics. But one of the really interesting things I noticed about working at a dealership is the quirks that come along when you buy a new car. Now, that's not to say that every new car is going to have these issues. And don't get me wrong, there's a few great perks that come along when you buy the car brand new, but I think there's 3 main factors that really make a new car a huge coin toss. Number 1 being faster depreciation and negative equity. I've met a few new car owners who haven't really wrapped their head around this entirely, but the amount your car depreciates the minute you drive it off the lot brand new is astonishing. And guys, I'm talking thousands of dollars here. If you go and buy a Chevy Silverado 2020, you paid $50,000 for it, the minute you take it home, it's not worth 50 grand anymore. It's maybe worth 45, if that. And one brand is really notorious for having this issue, and it is Maserati. Maserati vehicles are one of the fastest depreciating vehicles on the market. YouTuber Bladed Angel made an in-depth video about this issue. I'll link it in the description. It explains this a lot better. But this still happens with any vehicle, guys. Unless you're buying like a Ferrari F40 or a Koenigsegg, it's going to depreciate. There's obviously collector cars out there that are going to increase in value over time, but those cars are usually in a showroom. They're not being driven, and obviously the average person isn't buying cars like this, so it doesn't matter. However, there are a few brands that do depreciate less than others, and I think I'll make a separate video about that. I'll link that in the description as well. And I'd also like to mention the issue that does come up if you choose to finance the vehicle from brand new. So let's say you've negotiated on a price with the dealership and you've both arrived at $40,000 for the vehicle. Now, I'm just ballparking this, nothing exact, but let's say you owe the bank $500 monthly and you're on a 7-year contract. Basically, at the end of that 7 years, you're still paying 40 grand for the vehicle, even though the vehicle has depreciated, and that just kind of sucks. All right, so reason number 2 on this list is manufacturer defects. Now, I'm not actually going to say what type of vehicle we sold at this dealership because I don't want to throw shade at any manufacturer. Every type of car has its issues, but basically I had a car catch fire right in front of me. I had parked it for 2 seconds. I'd gotten out, got some water, came back, and the engine was completely on fire. This was a brand new car, and guys, you would not believe the amount of problems that some of these new cars have. It's insane. And obviously not every car is going to have these issues, but you know what? You don't want to be the one to have to find it. Let someone else take that risk. You can honestly buy a car that's 1 or 2 years old, and these problems will have already been found and fixed. And these manufacturer defects actually come up more than you would think. I actually had a near-death experience with a brand new vehicle. I had reached into the vehicle to start it. It was a manual, so I started the engine, and this vehicle had a defect, so without even putting my foot on the clutch, it engaged first gear and started lurching forward. It dragged me into a ditch, up the ditch, and into oncoming traffic. It was pretty terrifying, but luckily I was able to press my hand into the brake pedal and it just rolled back into the ditch. If you guys want to know what type of vehicle did this, I will make a separate video all about it. And last but not least, we are on to reason 3, trying to impress other people. Now, I met people all the time at the dealership who would come in to buy a car just because they thought people would care about it and to flex, and honestly, nobody cares. I think some people believe there's some sort of status symbol with having a brand new car, and to be honest with you, I don't think people care that much. Honestly, your brand new Ford F-150 at the car meet is going to get way less attention than the 1995 Toyota Corolla with a sleeper engine in it. It's just the way things are. And that's it, guys. My 3 main reasons why you shouldn't buy a brand new vehicle from a car dealership. Obviously, if you have the money and there's a brand new vehicle you absolutely have to have, just make sure you do your research and your due diligence. My advice would be, if there's a car you really like, just make sure to buy one that's a couple years old so you know there's no issues with it and you've done your research on it. And that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. Like and subscribe below for more content as I post weekly. And once again, guys, thanks for watching. Sold to the devil for designing it. Go to hell, but I told him I don't want it.